Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be tackling a pretty common maintenance task for older vehicles: replacing the distributor rotor and cap. These components play a crucial role in your car's ignition system, so keeping them in good condition is essential for smooth operation and optimal performance. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire process step by step, from identifying the right parts for your specific vehicle to removing the old rotor and cap and installing the new ones. I'll also share some helpful tips and tricks along the way to make the job easier and more efficient. Whether you're a seasoned mechanic or a DIY enthusiast, this video will provide you with the knowledge and confidence to replace your distributor rotor and cap like a pro. So grab your tools, let's get started. The distributor cap and rotor are essential components of your vehicle's ignition system. They work together to distribute the high-voltage spark from the ignition coil to the spark plugs, igniting the air-fuel mixture in the cylinders and making your engine run. Over time, these components can wear out and need to be replaced. Here are some signs that it's time to replace your distributor cap and rotor. Engine misfires. If your engine is misfiring, it could be a sign that the distributor cap or rotor is cracked or damaged. This can cause the spark to jump to the wrong place, resulting in a misfire. Rough idle. A rough idle can also be a sign of a worn-out distributor cap or rotor. This is because the spark is not being delivered to the spark plugs at the correct time, causing the engine to run unevenly. Stalling. If your engine is stalling, it could be a sign that the distributor cap or rotor is completely worn out and no longer able to deliver the spark to the spark plugs. Increased emissions. A worn-out distributor cap or rotor can also cause your vehicle to emit more pollutants. This is because the spark is not being delivered to the spark plugs at the correct time, causing the engine to burn fuel inefficiently. Check engine light. If your check engine light is on, it could be a sign that there is a problem with your ignition system, including the distributor cap and rotor. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it is important to have your distributor cap and rotor inspected by a qualified mechanic. They will be able to determine if the components need to be replaced. Replacing the distributor cap and rotor is a relatively simple process that can be done at home with a few basic tools. However, it is important to follow the instructions carefully to avoid damaging the components or your vehicle. Here are the steps on how to replace the distributor cap and rotor. Gather your tools and materials. You will need a socket wrench, a flathead screwdriver, a new distributor cap and rotor, and some dielectric grease. Locate the distributor. The distributor is located on the side of the engine, near the firewall. It is a round metal housing with a cap on top. Remove the distributor cap. The distributor cap is held in place by a few screws. Use the socket wrench to remove the screws and then lift off the cap. Inspect the distributor cap and rotor. Look for any signs of wear or damage, such as cracks, burns, or corrosion. If the cap or rotor is damaged, it will need to be replaced. Remove the rotor. The rotor is held in place by a screw. Use the flathead screwdriver to remove the screw and then lift off the rotor. Install the new rotor. Place the new rotor on the distributor shaft and line it up with the slot in the shaft. Push down on the rotor until it clicks into place. Install the new distributor cap. Place the new distributor cap on the distributor housing and line it up with the screw holes. Use the socket wrench to tighten the screws. Apply dielectric grease. Apply a thin layer of dielectric grease to the inside of the distributor cap and rotor. This will help to prevent corrosion and ensure that the components make good electrical contact. Reconnect the spark plug wires. The spark plug wires are connected to the distributor cap in a specific order. Make sure to reconnect the wires to the correct terminals on the cap. Start the engine. Once you have replaced the distributor cap and rotor, start the engine and check for any problems. If the engine is running smoothly, you have successfully replaced the components. Here are a few tips for replacing the distributor cap and rotor. Make sure to disconnect the negative battery terminal before you start working on the distributor. This will help to prevent electrical shock. Take a picture of the spark plug wires before you disconnect them. This will help you to remember where they go when you reconnect them. Use a torque wrench to tighten the screws on the distributor cap. This will help to ensure that the cap is properly sealed. If you are not comfortable replacing the distributor cap and rotor yourself, take your vehicle to a qualified mechanic. By following these tips, you can replace your distributor cap and rotor safely and effectively. Before we dive into the repair, let's prioritize safety. Park your vehicle on a level surface, engage the parking brake, and disconnect the negative battery terminal. This will prevent any accidental electrical shocks. Now let's find the distributor. It's usually located on the side of the engine, near the cylinder head. It looks like a round metal housing with a central shaft and a cap on top. Once you've located the distributor, it's time to remove the cap. This usually involves unfastening a few clips or screws. Be careful not to lose any of these small parts. With the cap off, take a good look at the rotor and cap. Are there any cracks, burns, or excessive wear? If so, it's time to replace them. Before installing the new parts, it's a good idea to clean the inside of the distributor with a clean, dry cloth. This will remove any dirt or debris that could interfere with the electrical connections. Take your new rotor and carefully slide it onto the distributor shaft. Make sure it's seated properly and aligned with the contact points inside the distributor cap. Now, take your new distributor cap and carefully place it over the rotor and distributor body. Make sure it aligns with the mounting points and clips or screws securely into place. With the new cap and rotor installed, it's time to reconnect the negative battery terminal. Double-check all your connections before starting the engine. Give your engine a try. If everything is installed correctly, it should start right up. If you encounter any problems, double-check your connections and ensure the new parts are properly seated. You've successfully replaced your distributor cap and rotor. Now enjoy a smoother running engine and improved performance.